sequence. All right. Don't even know. Do we start? How does this work? Do we wait for the people trickle in? Do we just go? I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Well,
13 people are here, so
there it is. We'll start. That's enough. All right. That's enough. Welcome to Darth Amin's Rule of Two. I am your Sith Lord, Darth Amin. At my side is my apprentice, Darth Cornpuzzle, aka Anthony Mays. I know we've been gone for a long time. The Sith had to remain hidden, scheming behind the scenes until we could come back and reveal ourselves and gradually take over the Republic and the galaxy. Some behind the scenes stuff to tell you guys about. Skeleton Crew, our bad. I see Heather Candy says I need 30 seconds on Skeleton Crew. I'll put it to you like this. It's exactly what I said at the time. It's just I never got around to saying it on a microphone, which is it is perfect. It's exactly what Star Wars needs to aspire to be. It's funny. It's a interesting story. It's not bogged down by trying to fit in with too much existing stuff. And probably most importantly, Maze, they cast kids who can act.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, I got to give them a lot of credit. The kid actors were good. I thought the ending was the worst part. I enjoyed the discovery and the journey and that process more than the way it wrapped up. But I still thought overall it was a good thing. And now I'm worried that they're going to bring it back and ruin it by doing it again.
Yeah, season 2, I would be very excited, enthusiastic for it. I don't want them to do the thing they usually do is what did people like? All right, increase 100 million times. No, have a story, tell your story well.
Mm-hmm.
And then like let everything else kind of let the chips fall, be they where they may. Chips. Okay.
Chips.
Either way, I like Skeleton Crew a lot. The issue that we've been running into here at Rule of Two, as you guys wonder why or why not, is just the timing for a lot of these things is happening the worst opportunity. So specifically to Andor, our goal was always, hey, Andor comes out, whatever the episode is, we drop an episode on it afterward. Then we discovered that the release schedule was going to be 3 episodes at a time, which in essence is like watching a movie, right? It's about an hour and a half runtime.
It's like 2+210.
Right, 2 hours. So 2-hour movie, which, as you know, if you listen to Cinephobe, you know, not a fan of the 2-hour movie. Now, because it's 3 episodes, it's broken up, and because it's Star Wars, and because it's Star Wars done exceptionally well, I'm not sitting here checking my watch. But for this to be happening in the middle of the NBA playoffs makes it virtually impossible for us to have been on time like that. That's why we're starting with the first 3 episodes right now. I have not watched episodes 4, 5, and 6. Do not give me any spoilers. I don't know what happens. All I know is 1, 2, 3. I'm going to watch 4, 5, 6 today, probably on my flight home. And then tomorrow, Maze and I will pre-record a regular episode of Rule of Two that will encompass 4, 5, 6. So, and then the hope
and we'll be right back here on the YouTube. You can join us live tomorrow.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
But so I really hate the 3 at a time from a content creator perspective. Although I got to admit, it's a great watch. The structure
oh my God.
of 1 year at a time. First 3 are 3 days. Next 3 are not quite 3 days, but it's this exact same time period as consecutive. And we're counting down BB-wise, getting closer and closer to Rogue One. It's genius. And the first season more or less had that structure. There was like 1 or 2 that weren't part of a 3-run arc, but it's really well constructed. The 3 episodes go super well together. My biggest issues, it's going to be over in 4 weeks. And that
Yeah,
feels
that's a
sad because we've been
yeah,
waiting for this for 3 years and maybe longer if you count from the Rogue One days. And it doesn't give us the opportunity to really dig into each episode, which is my favorite way to approach stuff
right.
like this.
Yeah, same. I agree. And given that this is going to be the last season of Andor, is almost a level of wistful I get because good Star Wars content has been a little hard to come by outside of the animation. It's been a lot of, it's hit or miss and mostly misses. And now we're getting ready for Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Who knows how that's going to go? Is there a Mandalorian season 4?
No, that's what the
Um,
movie is.
yeah, so it's just Ahsoka season 2 has been greenlit. They have cast the replacement to play Baylan Skoll. So there's stuff coming, but like this is the thing that I looked forward to the most because I knew it was going to be done well. And before we get into breaking down the first 3-episode arc there, like I said, just a couple other things. Ian Campbell in the chat says, any announcements from Star Wars Celebration in Japan that you guys like? Gosling Star Wars sounds good. I'll be honest with you. I saw it, and the first thought I had is never going to happen. It's just like all the other things that Kathleen Kennedy likes to do, which is we like big announcements and big promises and zero follow-up on it. So the Maul animated series, now that I'm interested in. Absolutely. I think that has a lot of legs to it. There's a lot of room because remember, the last we see of Maul is season 7 of Clone Wars, where he's basically saying, "Oh, Order 66 just happened," and he's in lockup, and then he escapes, and then we don't see him again chronologically until Ezra runs into him on Malachor as an old man, and so or I guess Solo. There's Solo in the middle there where he has that little brief cameo, but you've got like this huge gap in time. And so that's where all of this is going to happen. All this is going to take place. I am excited for that. Yeah, I think they're filming the Gosling film in the fall. They said they say these things all the time. They say these things all the time, and then they just never follow up. It's a real easy thing to do. Just announce you're going to do something, and then never actually do it. No one ever remembers. Like us doing the Skeleton Crew review.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yep.
say it. No, we learned from you.
We killed it with that announcement. That was great.
Learned it from watching you. But again, I'm excited for this series, and through the first 3 episodes, Maze, there's always a little part of you, like you said with Skeleton Crew. Now they're going to bring it back. Or are they going to ruin it? Right?
I wasn't worried about that with this one.
I wasn't, but then I kind of was. I
Interesting.
wasn't, but I kind of was. Right? Like, how are they going to try to work in somebody or some character or whatever? And instead, it was flawless. It was dare I say it was better than the first 3 episodes of season 1.
Well, you rewatched it, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So I didn't. I wish I could have. I didn't have enough space to do the full rewatch. But I got to say, I was amazed and impressed with myself at how many characters I remembered, how much came flooding back to me. A lot of names and faces in the Andor universe. But yeah, I would say probably the first 3 episodes of season 1, it's a lot of Cassian, and he's really getting
flashbacks. There's the flashbacks
settled and established. So yeah, I can see that not being as memorable, because then by the time we get to the second trio of episodes, we're on to Aldhani and we're off to the races. But this one, we're getting right back into it, man.
I was shocked by I thought it would take a slower burn, and we get that opening scene where there's a tech who's going over the TIE, I believe it's a TIE interceptor, but I read elsewhere that it's not a TIE interceptor, it's the TIE engager, or is it?
I thought it was a TIE Avenger. So Avenger. It's a TIE we haven't seen, but it's also not the TIE that Cassian expected. So who knows?
So it was so funny to see him walk in there and then look and then turn around and say, like, did I get in the wrong car? Basically. And what I love the most about that whole thing, after he flicks all the switches and he's ready to go, and then obviously he hits it in reverse on accident, we get the first curse word ever in the history of Star Wars. But it was so well done. It reminded me of like the first F-bomb in the MCU, which was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And it's Chris Pratt sitting in the car, and he just goes, like, he just lets out an exasperated fuck. This is the same thing here where he says, shit. Like, it is so on point, exactly what would happen in that scenario to someone in that situation, that I was just like, this is amazing, right? I laughed so hard.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. But
This is a very serious show that hits you right off the bat with some broad comedy of him trying to parallel park this Tie Avenger in a garage, and the stormtroopers come in and he guns them down, and then he has to blast the door open, and he kind of lurches out.
But it's kind of like there's a part of me I was like, oh shit, because here's the thing, and I don't know if it's done on purpose or not. Mason, have you ever played Star Wars Squadrons, the video game? There are other games. I think Battlefront 2 was like this as well, but Squadrons was like almost exclusively, this is a flight game. And you bounce back and forth between being Rebellion to being Empire. And so I've flown the TIE Interceptor. I've flown TIE Bombers. I've flown Y-Wings. I've flown X-Wings. I've flown a lot of different things. And every single time, I'm like, oh shit, like, this is hard. Like, when you get in one of these starships, they're not easy to fly. They're not straightforward by any means. And maybe not as bad as like going on reverse by accident, but like that whole like, oh fuck, what am I doing? Like, that is a very real feeling you get when you're trying to fly these things on the game. That, and also the TIE fighters all have this ion cannon. That's more than just a little Gatling gun. It's that little green thing in the bottom. That shit is powerful. It's supposed to be able to like do damage to capital ships. It's not meant for like just hitting whatever. So as soon as I realized he's gonna shoot the guy with the rocket launcher with the ion cannon, there was a part of me I was like, oh no, man, my kids are watching this. Are we gonna watch this guy get obliterated? I just thought it was really not only tastefully done, well done, but also funny that there's just a hole where he once stood.
He gone.
Just a little smoke coming off.
He's out of here.
Yeah, so Ian Campbell, no shields on most TIE fighters. I believe the Tie Avenger does have shields. These are the prototypes that the Empire started to develop after. Well, actually, you know what? No, the Tie Avenger wouldn't have shields because it's all after the Death Star. They started developing TIE fighters that had shields because they were like, we got to be able to meet the man-to-man. That's where the TIE Defender program came from, which is in Star Wars Rebels. That's the program that Thrawn was a big champion for versus spending money on the Death Star. Which brings me to the next thing that I love. The reintroduction of Director Krennic. Yeah, man. Doesn't miss a beat.
He's having the time of his life. Ben Mendelsohn is back. And I learned a lot from listening to Tony Gilroy on The Watch. Mm-hmm. He referenced a lot of things, but one thing about this scene is that he said he wanted to have his own version of a Wannsee conference, which is the Nazi conference where they plotted the final solution over high class lunch. And so we get our own version at some random place in the mountains at the Maltine Divide.
Yeah.
And he is loving it, man. He is so excited that Yularen and Tarkin don't even know about this.
Yep.
The Emperor will fill them in later. Don't worry. This is my shit. I got this. And we get that promotional video they play about Gorman.
The propaganda video. It's like almost like a travel and tourism board.
Mm-hmm.
The guy doing the voiceover, ass off.
Yep.
Ass off. Just like that's exactly how they sound. And that's why when they say Gorman Pride, I'm like, oh man, these guys are nailing it. And then you got the Ministry of Enlightenment guys.
Yep.
Who start devising how, and again, that's very strong echoes of Nazi Germany, right? How they created the whole propaganda campaign against Jewish people about like, oh, who do they think they are? And they think they're better than us and all that stuff, on and on. Um, the fact that, you know, I always like to say Rogue One was a movie about middle management, about people striving to be recognized for their efforts. So Andor is a little bit, has those sentiments and those feelings. And sure enough, it's like when you talk about Krennic saying like, Yularen isn't here, Tarkin isn't here. If they're not here, if someone's not here, you're not allowed to talk about them, whatever. This is all like, again, someone trying to seize credit and control over a situation in which he has none. The other thing I love, Mace, was the guise under which all of this is happening, right? Which is, we need Gorman, this mineral under Gorman in the planet Gorman, for the Emperor's Energy Independence Project.
Yep, there's still a level of redacted on this conference, even though all these people are sworn to secrecy and will have their logs erased and all that. But yes, Gorman, rich in foliated calcite.
Mm-hmm.
The Emperor's Energy Project is, wink, wink, the Death Star. They need it for the reactor lenses. And Gorman is a luxury planet famous for Gorman twill made by spiders or gorlectopods.
Yep.
And it's a bunch of bougie fashionistas that are used to being on the upper crust of galactic society. And what Krennic wants to do is essentially destroy their planet so that he can get a mineral. And he wants all these people to come up with the best way to go about that.
I like how he dances around it. Like, he doesn't want to say, like, look, the destruction of Gorman. He's just kind of like, I mean, it might. And then some guys, the tests show that it will be the core of the planet would be unstable. I'm like, yo, you're basically destroying. And then one guy comes up with like, why don't we just hit him with a plague? And then that'll force everybody to move. And the other guy, matter of factly, doesn't say like, oh, that's awful or whatever. He's just like, yeah, we game planned it. It gets
we ran those scenarios, man.
It's crazy. It is crazy, but again, it's an amazing scene. We learned from that scene that Ferrix has become a stain on Dedra's reputation, on her resume. Like, that was a massive failure for them. And so now she's trying to get back in the good graces. But she doesn't want to do this because she wants to keep searching for Luthen, who they codename Axis, for the ISB. We know that Partagaz, her boss, is like, this is a win, take the win. And then
he's also like, you don't have a choice. He chose you.
Yeah, and not to mention, she's like, well, we got to catch Axis. Like, you're no closer to catching him than you've ever been. She's like, yeah, but we're getting closer. And he's like, here's a word of advice. Catch them first, then make them famous.
Yep.
Which is fascinating. Is the idea that like nobody even knew this dude existed. And Dedra's right. She's right. There is a organized rebellion. This guy is a major part of it, and he is dangerous and needs to be apprehended. But in her effort to get everybody to understand and accept this, now built for Luthen a massive reputation. He is the man in the high castle. If you've watched that show, he is the man in the high castle. And this, obviously, now, instead of him being just someone that no one's ever heard of, it's, why haven't you caught him yet? It's like, good news, you got everyone to accept what a big risk he is. The bad news is now that's your ass for not finding him. So she's on the Gorman thing. And we also find out
her plan for that is a manufactured insurgency. That's what she teases Krennic with, that gets her to the front of the table, because she's quiet most of the meeting. He's like, I invited you here for a reason. Spill the beans. Like, what you got? And she says, you know, we need to create an insurgency on the planet to have a justification to move in.
You say manufactured insurgency. I read that as we need to Dylan Brooks, Draymond Green this thing.
Sure.
Like
That's
basically,
manufacturing it.
well, manufacturing is almost like you got like state
It's not
social media.
propaganda. It's not saying we have an insurgency when there isn't one.
Yeah, it's not planting an insurgency. It's aggravating an insurgency to do something dumb that then gives the justification for the repercussions afterward. Yeah, again, very fascinating and also very real world. This happens a lot, right? Like particularly with the U.S. government interceding in different situations. We also learned that Krennic hits her with the "you're not as smart as you think you are." Basically, you think you're got a poker face and shit. Like, guess what? I can read it. Mm-hmm. So the sooner you stop trying to play like, "Oh, I'm coy" or whatever, the better it's going to be for you. We find out that Dedra is shacked up with one Syril.
This is the greatest moment. This made me so sickly happy.
Or just them being together.
Because I went back to my notes for episode 12. And so Syril saves her at the end of episode 12. And they have this moment.
Yep.
They have this moment together.
It's Lorraine and George McFly at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Yep.
When he
decks the... Which makes Which makes Cassian Biff Tannen in this situation. And at that point, I'm like, this is it. Like the tension is through the roof. They have to do this thing. Here we are a year later. They are living together. They are two of the weirdest, most evil people in the whole galaxy, but them being together makes me happy. It's fucked up.
It's, are they evil? Or are they just like they're just blind allegiance to order?
They are narcissistic, self-obsessed perfectionists who want to do good things for the Empire and they're sociopathic. They don't care about people.
No, but they do believe. I think they believe they're doing the right thing, right? Like I think of remember and Aldani, the Imperial officer whose family is like stationed there or whatever. Like those are the guys that don't give a shit. They're like, this is good because it's great for me personally. Whereas I feel like Dedra and Syril, they do things because they think it's great for the Empire. Like they're bought in on this shit.
Mm-hmm. Because it'll bring them personal glory.
But WVU grad says Syril is more incompetent in following up. I don't think he's incompetent.
He was in season 1.
No, he wasn't. What
his
got him
speech to the guys in the drop? His reign as a cop was incompetence.
It's not incompetent. It's just not being able to see the forest for the trees. So his boss told him, "All right, man, it sucks, but like just leave it alone." He actually found out who did that shit. That's not incompetence. He actually he reminds you of Ben Stiller as Starsky and Hutch, a murderer. I'm going to solve a murderer, right? And he actually did. He solved it. It's just he could not understand how his pursuit of it created more issues than it solved. But I don't think he's incompetent. I think he's actually really good at the job. It's just he's an idealist who thinks his ideals are above any other justification. Anything that goes against the ideals are basically to be disregarded. WVU grad says you haven't seen the second arc. Are you talking about this season? No, I haven't. So
I have seen the second arc, and I still don't agree with you. So whatever, we'll talk about that next time.
You don't agree with me or with
him with WV grad?
Yeah.
He's not incompetent in season 2, but more importantly, they're preparing for the mom.
The mom. You know what's funny? As soon as he was like, we can just postpone. I was like, it's his mom.
Yes, that's the thing he dreads most in the world.
Yeah. The way he was acting, like it's his mom, and his mom shows up, and damn it if she doesn't steal the show, man.
It's the
The
best
passive
scene.
aggression.
The
The
writing is
passive.
off the charts. You've got her saying she wants the spiced tea. He doesn't have it. He's going to run out and go grab it. They're
Is
sitting down to that weird fondue dinner.
Mace, spiced tea. Do you take that to mean like spice, like Star Wars spice? Like it's something a little bit more risky. It's not like just a regular beverage or a hot beverage. It's like because the way Syril reacted, like, oh shit, like it's like mom asked for absinthe or something like that.
Maybe. I thought he was acting that way because he didn't have it and he didn't anticipate her needs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He didn't
stupid.
anticipate his mom basically being like a hardcore drinker, basically.
And he's so wrapped around her finger. She's constantly criticizing him, and Dedra's not having it. Dedra, once he runs off and does his little wimpish face plant on the bed that apparently was improvised by the actor.
Was it? Oh, that makes me so happy.
A meme for all time.
That makes me so happy.
And he's in the other room. Dedra basically says, cut the shit. There's a new broad in town.
Yeah.
I'll make sure he calls you twice a week. Leave him alone. And she does. Yeah. She responds well to this tough talk from Dedra. It was an incredible scene. I could do an entire show that's only the three of them, and I'm good.
Oh my god. The way she breaks up the cake. They bring out the cake and Dedra eats hers very precisely. Slicing very, very precisely with the knife. And the mom is just like, oh my God. That's awesome. Let's see. The other storyline that's happening, obviously, is what's happening on what's the planet that Brasso and Bix are on?
Mina-Rau.
Mina-Rau.
They are illegal immigrants working to harvest space grain as toolies. They're farmers and mechanics. It's Brasso, it's Bix, it's Willman, who we called son of Pock, Anderson Pock's son in season 1. And B2 Emo, of course, the droid.
Of course. Yeah. He's still there and still emo as ever. The I read an interview Tony Gilroy talked about. He wrote that like 3 years ago. And so obviously for all the immigration stuff in real life to be kind of center stage in this new Trump administration is you couldn't time events better to be more topical, right? Like the idea that they're searching for visas and that, they know that most of these people here don't have visas and they just want to know where the things are coming from, but also that they're catching people who are trying to escape and all that. It's ICE, it's immigration, it's all that stuff. And also the fact that this Imperial officer, this lieutenant, uses his position and power and leverage to basically solicit sex from illegal immigrants. And we get the first usage of the word rape in Star Wars history when Bix says he tried to rape me. Maze, you had to tell me this. I was not aware of this. The internet was not happy.
Yeah, man. I mean, all those Star Wars fans who rejected the Asian character from the latest trilogy, like this is crack for them. They did not enjoy this, but yeah, the Tony Gilroy writing this thing 3 years ago, he tried to write this show with timeless themes or historical themes that resurface, ring true, because yes, there's obviously all the modern applications of what's happening on Mina-Rau, but also it's Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. Same thing.
It's Christoph Waltz walking into the farmhouse in the opening scene and smoking them out and checking their papers. And the plight of the farmers on this planet, everybody's moving around. It's not just them that are undocumented. There's a lot of other people, and they're not used to people coming by looking for pulling tags and stuff like that. The Bix stuff, I mean, she's been through so much.
Yep.
He's really the most suffering character in all of Andor, given all the torture in season 1 and now this happening and then the nightmares that she's getting of Dr. Gorst. So it's tough to envision a happy ending for her, but they're waiting for Cassian.
Yep.
And they get busted essentially because young Pac, Willman, trying to get laid. Chasing after the farm girl.
Do you think what's the guy's name? Damn it. The local guy that they're hiding amongst.
Yeah, I don't have his name written down, but I know who you're talking about.
But yeah. Do you think he always was going to sell them out, or did it reach a point where it's like, it's either them or me? Did he sell them out?
I think they were going to get away. I think they were going to, because they were trying to relocate to the different station. And I think they were about to do that, but Willman was not there. He missed it, and then he left his speeder out, and then the cop showed up, and he got busted. And while Willman gets away, right when Cassian makes it back, unfortunately, we lose Brasso.
Yeah, man. I didn't want to believe Brasso was dead, man. I was like, he got away. Thank God he got away. And then Cassian finds his body. That shit made me sad.
Brasso's, and it wasn't some crazy heroic death. It was essentially a stray shot that took him out. You know,
even like the way they all reacted to that news, as like the shot of them flying away, and we'll get to this next, not scenic or like situation, but with the wedding music, the techno music playing, but everyone has that look of shock in their faces because they've lost, and they've lost they lost someone very near and dear to them. It was just a great, I loved it. I loved like the juxtaposition of this very happy music with a very sad moment as they're escaping. But we got to get to the wedding.
No, let's do Cassian first, and then let's do.
Oh, you want to? Okay, you want to do the Maya Pei, basically?
The Maya Pei Brigade, man. So,
oh my God!
So Cassian takes the Avenger. He goes to the rendezvous point where he's supposed to meet up with Porco.
Porco, yeah.
And we later find out that this is Yavin 4. I mean, did you like that Easter egg?
I loved it. My kids loved it. We were very excited chittering in the El Hassan household.
So Porco is not there, but who is there is 15 bickering idiots, the Maya Pei Brigade. And so you told me you read the article about Tony Gilroy sitting at the dinner table with his family and listening to his son and his nephew-in-law bicker. And then I got to tell you that then he cast him. That's actually who plays the acting jostling for power members of the Maya Pei Brigade are Tony Gilroy's son and his nephew-in-law. And a lot of people didn't like this. I mean, so tell me how you feel about this whole diversion on Yavin.
Again, I loved it because it makes sense. Not everyone who signs up for the rebellion is a smart, brave, courageous, like military genius, right? There have to be some dumbasses in there. Think of it like this. We're all Star Wars fans, and we just acknowledge that there's not a small group of Star Wars fans who are dumbasses who got upset about the use of word rape. Think about your favorite team. You love whatever team. There's a not small group of people who root for your team, and you're like, oh God, they're so embarrassing. This doesn't represent us or whatever. Especially like when you are dealing with, like, if you're like a real big fan of a basketball team, let's say, and you're like one of those people that's like, you might know some of the play calls your team uses, you might know the salary cap stuff, and then you got some guy comes up like, oh man, I love the Lakers, dude, LeBron, and that's it. Like, that's all they have is just yelling out names. There's a level of embarrassment also, like, don't affiliate or associate or ever equate us to be the same thing. And you can feel that from Cassian as he's observing these dumbasses bicker and fight amongst each other. And again, as May said, that the fact that the people playing those two roles are these actual kind of family members from whom he got the idea. The story is he originally wrote that Cassian steals the TIE fighter, drops it off at the rendezvous point, and then meets up at Mina-Rau with Brasso and the rest of them. That was how it was originally written.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a night out watching his two dumbass relatives have a dumbass argument that made him decide to change the whole thing. And shout out to WVU grad, right? And also Ian Campbell both picked up on this. Fucking Saw Gerrera called this out in season 1 when he's talking about like you can't.
Yeah,
you
episode 8, Saw goes through. Krieger is a separatist. Maya Pei is a neo-republican. There's the partisan alliance, sectorists, human cultists, galaxy partitionists. They're lost. All of them lost. So this is full circle on that. And to be fair, I guess to the Maya Pei Brigade, they did have a loss of leadership before they got dumped on this planet. So this isn't necessarily the top tier.
No.
These are
She's
the
alive.
scrubs.
She's alive. That's where his brother went. His brother went to go rescue her. It's it's funny. Like my kids were like, "Wait, so is she dead or did they go to rescue?" I was like, "It doesn't matter."
Nope.
It's just to illustrate like how tattered these people are, right? And really, again, Rogue One was kind of the thing that really brought everyone together. Rogue One, and then like some Rebels episodes that were leading up to Rogue One.
Well, that's part of what I love about it is that we have to see them make that growth between these 3 episodes and theoretically the last 3 episodes. Like it's showing, and this is a running theme with Cassian everywhere. Like he's pissed about him getting the wrong ship info. He yells at Luthen about that. He's like, "What the hell, man? Like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't put in a position to succeed because the scouting was wrong or whatever." And here he's taking them to task. Like, you shouldn't be telling me who you are, you dumbasses. Like, I'm not telling you who I am or who my boss is or what my orders are. Like, that's not how this works. We're running a secret operation here. You can't be spilling the beans left and right. And then also, even while he's super pissed at them and imprisoned by them, he's like, "Hey, you guys should probably collect some water."
Well, it's still raining. Yeah. Like
it's not going to rain forever. Hey, you guys should probably have a perimeter set up. He can't help himself.
I was about to do that.
Yeah.
I just love that. Do you think they could have ever successfully moved the TIE fighter? That was their plan. Their plan was we're going to move the TIE fighter.
Yeah, that was
something,
man. I mean, they could have. It would have taken a couple more days. Like doesn't Cassian do the math? He says they need like another 20 hours or something like that. Like he tells them how. I mean, it was great. It was a great purgatory-esque, like it did stall Cassian, but it also showed how much work needs to be done and how hard this is to organize these idiots into overthrowing a much larger, much better funded group of idiots in the Empire.
Right. And again, the reveal at the end of that episode that this was Yavin 4 all along is kind of cool because it's like, why Yavin 4? Like it's been a fixture throughout all Star Wars, starting from A New Hope, and then we saw it in Rebels, and we saw it in Andor. I mean, in Rogue One. We've known it to be the secret rebel base, the one that Tarkin and Vader were searching for in A New Hope, and that Princess Leia lies and says it's Dantooine when it wasn't Dantooine. All of these things trying to match everything else while still telling an original story is, again, what I very much enjoyed about this show. There was one more thing I want to say about the Maya Pei. Man, I can't remember. It was something specific about all these factions and their struggle to kind of get their shit together. But if I remember, it'll come back to me. I'll bring it up. But right, the last kind of scenic or scenario is it's Mon Mothma, and it's a year later, and we realize that she's gone ahead with the betrothal of her daughter to the son of Skulldun?
Davos Skulldun or
Yeah,
Skulldun.
Skulldun. Yeah. And her at the same time, the stress of that, right, which she didn't want to do, but she realized, man, these are the sacrifices you make, combined with unexpectedly seeing Luthen there, who was invited. He wasn't even there to be like Luthen. He was like, he's
brought
just
the
being,
temple relic that Davo paid him for.
But obviously that brings a level of stress along with it for her. Don't want to be in the same place at the same time as this dude, right? And then you top onto that your boy Tay, what's his name? Tay Koma. The ultimate, he's like my man from The Sopranos, who's in the poker game, and he's getting desperate. And then he starts talking in a way where it's like, buddy, I don't know if you want to be talking like that.
Yeah, like, Tony Gilroy called it Fredoing out, like The Godfather 2. And that could not be more apt, especially with the way that he exits the party. But Tay Koma, who in season 1, it's her old friend, rich guy, smooth operator, savvy businessman. He gets her out of a jam, right? She's backed into a corner, so she doesn't know how to get the money laundered, and he facilitates that.
Her. Yep.
He makes it happen, and now we see him here, and he's completely fallen apart. His money's gone bad. The rebellion's hurting his business.
That's the crazy part, is that the reason why it's not like he lost money like investing in the rebellion. It's the rebellion activities have made his investments kind of not as lucrative as they once were. So inadvertently he helped, but now he knows. Like if she had never brought him in on this, he would have just probably chucked it up to, man, that's life or whatever. Or but him knowing that his facilitation of this alliance between Skulldun and Mon Mothma has accelerated the activities of the rebels who have ruined his investments now in a roundabout way. And now she even mentions it. What he must think about is like coming to the wedding and the extreme opulence of this wedding.
Yes.
And here goes Davo bringing a relic there's only 20 of them in the world. And like, it exacerbates it even more. So he's getting super drunk and hammered at these parties, talking real reckless.
Parents shitting on him, can't hold his booze because your boyfriend,
he's weak. and
isn't he your lover?
No, yeah, but that was the. I thought he was just doing the good-natured ribbing like he did in season 1, and then he's like, "Nah, aren't y'all fucking?" Because his wife left him, and that's like that opens it up, doesn't it? And so like, oh my god, this dude's wife left him. His business has gone sour. He's getting hammered at weddings and talking way too reckless, right? And my favorite part, and this is the greatest illustration of the light and the dark of the rebellion. Mon Mothma, idealist. Mon Mothma, believer in order and doing things in justice and all the good things, right? Thinks that she can share this information with Luthen. And Luthen's like, okay, let's just figure out a number. I was like, lady, you just signed the guy's death certificate. I literally paused the show and I looked at my kids like, what do you think he's trying to tell her right now? And it needs to be handled. And my kids weren't quite clear. And I'm like, what is the risk? And they're like, well, the risk is that he spills the beans about the whole thing. And yes, Matt Ryan, Papu Peep, you are dead.
You're dead.
But she like for another 20 minutes or maybe 15 minutes, she's still trying to figure out a way that like we don't have to kill him.
Well, it's kind of over the 3 days.
Okay, that's true.
The 3-day wedding, it's constant because he comes day 1 and he's basically begging for money. But I couldn't remember how much Tay knew Like, I feel like he knows that she covered up money, but I don't think he knows that it's for the rebellion. I
He
think that
does. They
he
had the
does.
whole conversation at her place in
Okay.
season 1.
Yeah.
Like he
So
knows. He doesn't know Luthen. He doesn't know that Luthen's
yeah.
involved. But he absolutely knows that this is funding the rebellion. Like that's what this is all
And
about. Because that's how she opens up to him. Because he says, "Man, this empires are working," and da. He starts complaining to her, and she's like, "Yeah, trust me, I kind of know a little bit about that." And he's like, "No," and it's just like, "You really?" And she can finally like lets him know. But
so
buddy,
the exchange, she's saying, you know what? I'm gonna sit down with him next week. I'm gonna give him a number.
yeah,
It's gonna be fine. He says, no number is gonna be good enough. Like this is
yeah,
not okay. People will fail. That's our curse.
yep, yep.
Brutal.
And that's
Mon's
and then this,
convinced she can resolve it. Luthen won't be vulnerable. No half
mhm,
measures. Breaking Bad style. I mean, hasn't watched that show.
nope.
And then Mon says, I don't know what you're saying. And Luthen, how nice for you. Bars, dude.
Yeah, that guy's fucking
Wouldn't it be
cold blooded.
nice to be a fancy senator drinking intergalactic champagne, not knowing the costs that it takes to actually get shit done in this
He
galaxy?
does. I like he is Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. You don't, so you could go to bed at night, not have to worry about the awful things that were done for the price of freedom. And one of the awful things, as we mentioned, is that she basically pimped out her daughter to the son of a gangster looking for validation, looking for credibility, looking to go legitimate in essence. And I thought in a show where someone almost got raped, in a show where a childhood friend is basically signed his own death certificate, the saddest part of the first 3 episodes, Maze, was her with her daughter and explaining to her, I'm going to tell you the things I wish my mother had told me,
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't tell me because she just got drunk on my wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
She tells her daughter, we don't have to rush this. You can wait. It's okay. There's no one's going to think any less of you. Like she's giving her the out. And the daughter looks at her and says, I wish you just got drunk.
Yep. Nothing like out of the mouths of babes to
Yeah.
cut right to the core. And then guess what? She does get drunk.
She gets drunk and she starts dancing, whirling, twirling, twirling around.
So this was the Niamos remix. I mean, you
Yep.
remember the
Yes.
Space Miami theme? They did a
Yeah.
remix. I cut a clip of this and I posted it on Twitter and the Reddit, and it went pretty crazy. People all loved this track. And this last scene, because this is a thing that I'm fairly certain they did in previous seasons as well, where the music's playing and we're with Mon twirling around, dancing, but then we're cutting to everybody else. And
Yeah.
it was so effective. You know, everybody is at a pretty low point at the end of this episode. Mon especially. Like Mon is devastated. And there's that look that Perrin gives her. And I still don't really know what to make of that. I'm interested in Perrin this season. Last season I thought he was kind of a dick, but this season I'm more interested in him.
So I read that about that too. And Tony Gilroy said he wrote Perrin to be a dude who's just like, hey man, why are you so upset? Just be chill. Like just go on with it. And it's just to represent like people who are like, hey man, I just want to live my life. I'm not co-signing on anything, but also I'm not like trying to be no freedom fighter. I just want to fucking live my life. And he said he was surprised by how many people hated Perrin.
Mm-hmm.
And so he made it a point. Then this is an interesting inflection point, because in many other Disney Star Wars properties, if there's a negative reaction to someone, the reaction from the studio is get rid of that thing because they don't like it. And what he did was like, no, not only am I not going to get rid of Perrin, I'm going to make him likable. and give him some redeeming qualities that aren't contrary to the character that we've established. It's a guy who loves hedonism, right? So it's like let's make him give the speech at the wedding. That's like, yeah, man. It kind of makes some strong points here, and so I really enjoyed how he basically doubled down on Perrin, but also made him likable in that way.
And we got so much of Chandrilan culture and customs with this wedding, this 3-day wedding.
Yeah.
The production design, as always with this show, is through the roof. Like, it's unbelievable how detailed these sets and these costumes are.
Almost as expensive as the rehearsal.
Almost, yeah. Nathan Fielder actually had Mon Mothma's house moved across the country.
Try to help her. Hey, this is how you. I want to convince Luther not to kill my childhood friend, but I'm worried he might do it anyway. So.
This was all the rehearsal. This was all a setup just to see how Luther would react. We'll see the actual wedding next time. But yeah, I mean it. And Genevieve O'Reilly was off the chart. She was incredible in these 3 episodes. Like, this was a lot of Mon, and you know, having to juggle secret conversations with public facing, you know, elegant waves and smiles, to the conversation with her daughter, to the confrontation with Perrin at breakfast. Like, it was a tour de force, man. It was so good.
We also get the what Ian Campbell in the chat calls Luthen's murder lesbian.
Cinta's back.
And we get Cinta and Val's kind of weird ass relationship, because Val is, at the end of the day, a little rich girl.
She's Mon's cousin.
And Tony Gilroy said he modeled Val after Patty Hearst. Someone of affluence who decided to join the revolution or whatever. At the end of the day, like, you're not of this world, where Cinta's like real deal, 10 toes down out here.
Yeah.
But it's how ominous though, right? It's like, okay, Tay, we'll get your ride back. And then you see the chauffeur like, oh shit, man.
Well, that's how good the writing is, man. You know from seeing Cinta, oh, hey, by the way, I'm your new driver, that he's cooked.
Cook.com.
How do you think she did it?
Oh, I think she turned around, blast her, and then
straight blaster.
Blast her in the head, toss him over a cliff or something.
Yeah, I think my favorite theory that I heard was that she turned the car upside down. Didn't buckle his seatbelt. Oops. But yeah. Blaster, poison, toss the body.
That reminds me of one of the funniest goddamn lines from those first 3 episodes, which is Andor, Cassian finally getting through, and she's like, when he's complaining about, like, this wasn't the ship I was supposed to fly. He's like, and I can't remember what was it Kayla or what's her name? The assistant. Clea. Clea says something, and he says, I've been flying upside down for 2 days. Like,
the drifting in space.
Yeah, like this idea of, like, I can't, even him trying to, like, make the call, hotwire.
Yeah.
To make the call, accidentally turns the engines on and stuff. It was just the frustration was so palpable. Oh man, good times. What else? I think we covered everything there, right?
Yeah, that's just about everything. I mean, the first 3 were very neatly divided. It felt like there's essentially 4 plot lines. You know, if you lump Krennic in with Dedra and Sirill. I'm excited for you to get to the next 3. I've already watched them. We'll talk about them soon. But
talk about tomorrow.
Man, it's so good. You saying that you had concerns, like, going in. It's fine. Like, reticence, apprehension. Yeah. He sketched the story out when he did season 1. Like, this was all charted from the jump. And I think that's what makes it
cohesive,
along with his incredible talent, is what makes it, like, such a reliable thing. And the structure of the 3 episodes at a time, it works really well. It's 3 acts. Doesn't quite necessarily break down into, like, act 3, the turn, whatever. But it's so good, man. and the
Yep.
acting and the production. It's awesome. I hope that
Plus-
people watch it.
Yeah, I saw this on Star Wars Reddit, but someone said, what's your favorite trilogy in the Star Wars saga, right?" And someone said it's the interquels. Like, what's the interquels? Season 1 Andor, Season 2 Andor, Rogue One. Like those three right there together, because it's basically, you know, a movie, a very long movie, but a movie nonetheless. It's cinematic quality, and it because it's just, again, we go back to this. Is like Tony Gilroy is a real fucking writer. Excuse me.
Yeah.
He writes spy thrillers. He does this shit, right? There's a sophistication to his writing. Whereas Star Wars, even the original trilogy, George Lucas has always said the optimal age is around 12, 13 years old. Like, it's stuff that a 13-year-old will understand. It won't fly over anyone's head. Now, you could do all types of allegories and stuff to like World War II and all that. And that's cool to discover later on. But a 13-year-old will be able to watch this and process all the information and understand what's going on, right? And I don't know. I guess I got to ask my kids who are roughly that age. But I wonder if they enjoy Andor as much as I do. I know they enjoy it, but I don't know if they enjoy it as much as I do because of how great the writing is.
I mean, I have to say no, because they don't have as much of a frame of reference for not only Star Wars but
Life,
real life history that you and I do. But I mean, I'm excited that this is gonna live forever, and that, you know, in 10 years somebody can pick up Andor 1, 2, and then Rogue One and have themselves a nice little time. Like, that's a hell of a body of work that they're finishing off right here.
One person that I know we're not going to see is Vader. We're not going to see Vader anywhere because Tony Gilroy was like, I don't want that responsibility. But I'm trying to imagine who are some of the people. We've seen Krennic. Who? Let me ask you this, without saying a name: is there anyone else who was not in Andor season 1,
Yes,
but was in the movies that's going to make an appearance?
Yes, and it's a new casting change.
Ooh, okay.
So, and you'll get it in the next arc. You'll be very pleasantly surprised with who shows up in 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
And it's really a brief thing. It's teasing more down the line, but they do appear.
I think that covers it. We did it all right there. Tomorrow, got to figure out a time, I guess. But
we'd like to say 4, but we will confirm tomorrow.
Yep, 4 p.m. Pacific. 4
Mhm.
p.m. Pacific on that one. But yeah, we're going to try and knock out 4, 5, 6, and then moving forward, we're going to find the time to do these, and we're going to do them all live, right, Maze? That's the mission. We're going to do them all live so you guys can jump in. You can ask your questions. If you're listening to this after the fact, look, man, I can only tell you that this is definitely the way you want to do this. You want to be involved on this level. And also, for a lot of people who won't know, or I guess I'll have to find out, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is on the Count the Dings network now. This is a CTD property. So if you're looking for the drop, if you want to re-listen to this again, do not look on the Lebitard Show feed. Do not look on Lebitard and Friends. Look for us on the Cinephobe feed, where we'll have all the Rule of Two episodes moving forward. For Darth Cornpuzzle, I'm Darth Amin, reminding you all to catch them first, and then make them famous.
How nice for you.